into process.
Just
that
like
is a
we
thing.
tell our students, we need to trust this process.
I trust the process.
The studio audience loves me. It is what it is.
He started adding things to the soundboard more. Like, he's loving it. Can you turn up my ears a little bit?
Yeah, of course I can turn up your ears.
Yeah.
All right, 9 seconds. I'm gonna do a countdown just for everybody, so we can have some fun here. And 3, 2, 1. Hey! Welcome everybody that is in our live webinar right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. We are super excited to have you guys. We are coming into our third week here of script class. There was a lot we went through last week, so we've got our group here. We're going to get right into our scenes, but the biggest thing we took out of last week was learning to start moving and using the phone to our advantage. So basically, we talked about this being a new medium. A whole new type of acting is evolving and happening, and we get to be a part of that. And that's like, I believe, and our team believes, that there will be shows that are like this, like that are completely based around the phone and this idea. And it'll be like, you know, the old show, like a Brady Bunch style, like this group, family, whatever, but it'll just be in this type of setting. So really exciting. Let's start off before we jump right into our monologues. What did we take out of last week that we're going to bring into this week's class, guys? Anybody got anything specific or some work we worked on this week? Yeah,
Go ahead,
Brianna.
Brianna, take the floor.
She is talking, but she is muted. That's what's up.
She must have muted herself. Here we go.
Go
Brianna?
ahead.
Yeah,
She left.
She disappeared.
She left.
Disappeared. Wow.
All right. Well, this is just embarrassing for her.
Wow.
It was her.
Wow.
It was her time to
Just
shine. To be real.
It's the time to shine. Time to shine.
Should we just get right into class? I
Yeah.
feel like we should.
All right, let's jump right into it.
I always forget to cut to myself. Now everybody knows what I look like. What's up, guys? It's me.
Hello,
I'm the
audience.
producer.
Wait,
I'm
I was
Joey.
gonna say
Yeah, Emily.
I wasn't able to make it last week because I was painting the house, and then I was like, "Oh, hello, it's 8:20." So, is there any way you guys could like catch me up on like a little bit? Because I was like hoping to hear from everybody else, so I could be like, "Oh, okay."
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll jump into that. So I'll let that happen really quick. Andrea, I see. Did you have something you wanted to throw out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had some technical difficulties last week.
Yes.
And but I watched the live stream, and it kind of got me thinking about how I could enter and leave the frame more. And I kind of got a little bit more thinking into how to use props into it as well.
Awesome.
So just like kind of widened my mind on how to view the scene.
And that was it. So basically, Emily, what we did was we took our piece and said, let's not just take it and have the camera right here and be looking at it and make that the only thing. Like, let me take this and use this to my advantage. Let me use this space. Everything is a move that you get to make. So if I make a decision for whatever camera I'm looking at to come in closer to you, it's for a purpose, and it's going to tell you something. It's just like on stage when you're blocking something. Movement speaks. So if I decide to leave the frame for a minute because I'm mad, that's me making a statement to you. Like, everything you do tells us a story. And so you have this massive amount of creativity right now that you get to use. So you want to think through, what space are you in? Where can you go? What things can you use? And how can you use the fact that you're in your home right now to your advantage? So that was sort of what we went into last week for you and for everybody watching on our live. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go into scenes. I'll let you go a little towards the end there, Emily, so that you have the chance to just sort of like think through some of that. I want you to look at your space and go through that. And for everybody else, we'll go through, watch the live, and make sure that we're continuing to just take notes on everybody else's and grow from the performances before us. The last thing I'll leave with here is in Masterclass, which you can see on our YouTube, we had performances obviously going up before yours and several before yours. And by watching those, I was able to make adjustments for my scene that made it so much better. So like if you're watching, you'll hear critiques, and if you're paying attention, you can go, okay, that makes sense. Let me apply that to mine before I go. Like, think through it in that way, and you'll be growing as you watch others perform. So awesome. All right, well, we will start off this week. Let's start off with Alicia.
Ooh. Ooh.
And you got that like whiteboard so I can create a little like deal?
Yeah, I got the whiteboard. Of course I got the whiteboard.
You just pull them in though. I mean,
All
it's
right, let me
fine,
pull
it's
them
fine.
in. I'll grab the whiteboard while
While he
when I'm
pulls 'em
done
in.
pulling them in.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Alicia, you're gonna be first. We're gonna send everybody else to the waiting area, and we will see you soon. For our live audience, again, just thanking you again for joining us. It's going to be awesome. Grab your notebooks. Let's learn. There's a comment section, and you can throw in ideas and thoughts if you have them, and we'd love to engage with you in that way, and thank you for being a part of our class tonight. All right, so go ahead and take your time, connect in, use your space, and start on your time when you're ready, okay?
Well, let me tell you something, funny boy. You know that stamp? One that says New York Public Library? Well, that may not mean anything to you. That means a lot to me. One whole hell of a lot. Sure, go ahead, laugh if you want to. I've seen your type before. Flashy, making the scene, flaunting convention. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What's this girl making such a big stink of an old library book? Let me give you a hint, buddy. Maybe you can live without libraries. People like you and me. Maybe. Sure. Can't change the world. What about that kid sitting down, opening a book right now in a branch at the local library, finding drawings of PPs and wee-wees on the Cat in the Hat and the 5 Chinese brothers? Doesn't he deserve better? Look, if you think this is about overdue fines and missing books, you better think again. This is about that kid's right to read a book without getting his mind warped. Maybe that turns you on, Seinfeld. Maybe that's how you get your kicks. You and your good time buddies. Well, I got a flash for you, Joy Boy. Party time is over. You've got 7 days. That is 1 week.
Scene. Woo! How'd it feel?
It felt good. That was the first time I was trying, like, in this space instead of my other space. So.
Okay, so this is a new space for you.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
I think I was a little bit put off that I was trying something new.
Okay, cool. So tell me about some of the exploration you did in the other space.
Well, last time I did it, I was sitting for the entire thing, and that was the first time I'd done it sitting. But this time I tried to do it standing again, and I think I found out that I like it sitting better.
Okay, cool. So I had a student in the teen class talk about this actually. Started off, do I sit, do I stand? And the answer became this: both. Both. So I like that you came in and the intensity of the librarian that you brought, that crazy we talked about last week, right? So know that you don't have to, just because you're sitting doesn't mean you need to stay sitting. We can go back and forth between the two. So let's start from the top again. I want you to bring a little bit of her crazy, like where I can see that it's in there. She doesn't go full cray-cray, but it's in there a little bit right from the top, okay? And let's start by grabbing the book. I like that. That's a nice choice there. Be reading, and he gives you the answer, and it makes you it's so frustrating to you that it makes you set the book down for a second.
Okay.
And for you to set a book down, that's a big deal, okay? So you're reading, you're there. Is it a phone you're using?
I'm using a laptop.
Laptop, okay. Even though it's that, know that you can pick it up at any time, okay?
Okay. Well, let me tell you something, funny boy. You know that stamp? The one that says New York Public Library?
Good. Stop reading. Pick it up again. I don't believe she would drop it just because she cares about books too much. Okay? But I like her stopping reading, and here's why also. Now you can look down at the book and point at the New York Public Library right on there. And for next week, I would make a little, like, sticker that you can put on there and just, like, literally point at it, you know? Okay, for now, just imagine it's there. I love the beginning so much better already.
Well, let me tell you something, funny boy. You know that stamp? The one that says New York Public Library? That may not mean anything to you. That means a lot to me. One whole hell of a lot. Sure, go ahead. Laugh. I've seen your type before. Flashy, making
Good. Find a new way to flashy. New way to flashy.
Flashy, making the scene, flaunting convention.
Good. Another way. Go.
Flashy, making the scene, flaunting convention.
Now keep building on that. That's great.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What's this girl making such a big stink of an old library book for?
Run out and go put it away, but keep talking while you do it. So
well, let me give you a hint, buddy. Maybe you can live without libraries. People like you and me.
okay, I'm going to add on to that and build on that critique, but we're going to do that when we jump into the lobby here in a minute. So very good work. So here's the homework, because next week's performance week, okay? I want you to literally practice with putting it in different areas and, like, break through the script and find where are all the moments where I could explore and try 5-10 different options for each, because then you'll have them in your back pocket, and then whatever feels right, again, in the moment, you'll go with that, okay?
Yeah.
Good. Nice work. Woo! Love it. All right.
Next up, we have Emily Barber. Woo!
So while we're bringing Emily in here for that live audience, we are dealing with a whole new format here. But like anything, this goes for whether you're doing a film or whether you're on stage. There are certain blocking things that have to be in your script. They're written in. Those you need to look in and figure them out, but also creative ways to make it fresh for you. For the spots where it isn't, you need to create it, and especially in these pieces. So I recommend, and this is what I did for my master classes last weekend, was take your laptop, phone, whatever you're using. And honestly, in this format, guys, I highly suggest phone, just sideways, because you'll be able to maneuver a lot better. But set it up in all the places it would be. Like, literally, there was a spot in my closet that I put it for one part of the scene, and I tested it. I spent like 10 minutes on it, made sure the lighting looked good, like, so that I wasn't like blurry out in certain areas, like, did all that work, and then didn't end up using that spot. But it was there for me. It was ready. It was an option. And there were 6 other options in the whole room prepared for me. So when you're preparing a piece, you want to prepare so many different options so they're there for you, and then go with the one that feels right in the moment from the character. Cool. All right, Emily, hey.
Hello. I thought I was going later, but it's okay. I can.
Honestly, I just went down the list, to be real with you, so that is what happened.
Technically, it was later than first, so...
True. I mean, I'll take it. I was trying to get my internet to work, so I didn't get to hear much of your critiques, but I was, like, working around over here.
Okay, so I'll throw it at you, okay?
So we'll try it.
And we're going to explore together. That's right. Try.
Yes.
Try.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get all situated. I had
Perfect.
some stuff on my floor, so move that.
Wait, there's stuff on your floor? Wait.
There's a blanket on my floor, and I was walking over it, and I was like, no, that's gonna bug me, so I had to move it.
Okay, so I want to talk on that first.
Okay.
So you are actually a great example of what I was just talking about, which is perfect. Okay? When you're processing what you're going to do, we happen to get to watch you do that right now because you weren't here last week. That's awesome. So thank you for that. Seriously. Thank you. So you start walking and testing something, and you go, what? I don't like this blanket. No way. Like, it's not going to work. So you move the blanket, and you figure that out. Then you start working through something, and you go, man, I wish that I had something else to go to. You go and you decide that maybe I'm going to go grab some snacks and have them in the room somewhere. Like, you start just testing things. What do I like? What don't I like? And come up with options. That's what this part of the process is about.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. So you can finish up, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
All right. Would you like me to slate?
No, no need to slate.
So just what made you do it? What enticed you to make me fall so hard for you? And to go as far as making me believe that you're some godly man? Was it because I was appealing at the time? Did I seem easy? Or wait, was it just because you wanted to know what I was like in bed? No, you never cared about me.
Okay, good. We're going to start over. Rushing. Do you feel it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So,
because I'm like,
go ahead.
I'm like listening to your direction last week, and I went over it, and I was like, I'm glad that you had that affirmation for me, because I like was going over it from what you gave me last time, how he had reached out recently, and you were like, take that anger. So I'm like really thinking about it, and I'm like, I talk too fast when I get angry. So when I was like practicing it myself, I was like, but this is authentic. But I was like, no, I was like, I think I should slow it down. So I'm glad that you gave me that affirmation.
Yes. Yes, and we do when we get angry. So there may be moments where you feel that, but as an actor, you have to be in control of the instrument.
Correct.
So your body, your voice, these things are your instrument as an actor. So even though you're angry, every word has to be heard or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can be mad at you, really mad, and I can actually talk fast as long as you can understand each word. Right?
Right.
So it's actually fine if you end up doing that, but your diction has to be right on for that to be the case.
Okay.
And if you do it, know that you just use that moment.
Okay.
Because once you get that angry and use that, can you come back to it later? Sure. But that's a move you already used. Just like at some point you might get so angry, okay? You might get so angry, you're like, you know what I mean? You're really making me mad. Really know it. And come back literally like eyes into the camera. Now I'm veiny. Like you might get that upset right into the camera, but once I've done that choice, it's been done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's start again.
Okay.
Gotta get my veins to come down.
So what made you do it? What exactly enticed you to make me fall for you so hard? And to go as far as making me believe that you're some godly man? Was it because I seemed easy? Was I just appealing? Or was it because you really just wanted to know what I was like in bed? You never cared about me. I was the one who cared, and I was the one who fell hard. I'm sorry, I just blanked because I got really angry.
It's okay. All right, it's good. It's good. I felt it. It was better. Did you feel it?
Yeah, I felt
it was
a lot
better.
It felt
So what happened, and this is for everybody here. What the real change was you took the extra moment to really get in it, to really feel it, to go, let me get myself in that space to the point where you're like, I'm so angry, I'm losing it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like about to start saying my own things, and I was like, no, because like my brain like thinks of all my other emotions, and I like was compacting them all in, and I was like, okay, wait.
And,
like,
and it's tough because you wrote it, and it came from your life, so that would be even easier to do. And in this case, you're not offending the writer because, well, you are the writer. So the other thing, and I can't remember if you were here for this week. Did we change the format? Because originally it was like airplane, like you saw him there, right? Were you there the week where we started talking about changing the formatting to be over video chat?
That was last week, so no, I was not.
Okay, so that's what I want you to work on this week. So right now, you're looking at me, right, on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually the camera. So look at the camera on your screen really quick.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, this conversation is happening over video chat. So if you think through to 2 weeks ago, that annoyance of him reaching out, this is that reach out, but it happened to happen over video.
Okay.
And if that's the case, how would you move? How would you react? So you can look at me the way you are right now, and that's like seeing him on the screen, but know that, and this is the whole new part of this format, everybody, that when you do this, when you look at the camera, that's you like really hitting him with something. That's you looking right at them, and you look better doing that. So even when you're looking at him, most of the time you want to be right here at your camera, facing that. So I'd be right here at this one, looking at that, even though you're right here and I'm over here looking at you. So technically, to look right at you, I'm here, but I can still see you and be right here, and this looks like I'm being more personal with you, right?
Yes.
That's what we want to do. So get used to staring at that camera in that way. Get used to getting, all up in it the way I did. Like,
Yeah.
get used to those things. And there'll be moments where you just look at his screen like that and are doing that and listening to him. But then when you really want to land something on him, it's right here.
Okay.
Okay? And that's going to take some practice.
It is.
So you're going to do that, and you're going to block it. And next week is our performance week. So get ready to crush, because this is going to be so awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Emily. Woo!
Next up, we have Saya Luke.
Saya Luke. All right, the lesson there for everyone while we're bringing in Saya is, well, it kind of builds on that same idea of starting to build your set and really look at what's going on there. But beyond that, because it's a new format, in this cell phone style format, we look at the camera differently than we normally do. So there's the actual lens that you look at, and normally in film, you wouldn't look at that. Like, that wouldn't be a part of what you do. But in this new format, if you watch the video, it's just so much more personal when the person's looking right at that. And I can totally, like, even right now, I can see Saya just came in, like, I can see her and see that she's there. And this camera is much further away than the TV I'm looking at her on. But it's way more personal to be right here. So start to practice and get used to that new format, because I promise you, like, I just have this feeling, we have this feeling, it started with Matt's idea, that this is going to become a whole new format. There are going to be shows based around this style. Okay? Awesome. All right, Saya, you ready? Hold on, let me get you unmuted.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am.
Woo! Take your time. Woo!
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember. Save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend. And my dearest father. Our features are broad. I am skilless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I there and do forget.
Scene. All right, I got to start this one with how'd that feel?
It felt great. Yeah, I think Masterclass really helped me with the movement part on this new format and being more free with it.
So we worked that a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, being more playful with it, like not trying to be so Shakespearean and like, I don't know, just like trying to really connect to the person. And I was really picturing a guy in the camera, and I've been really practicing just visualizing the seeing the image of him and trying to really connect with his eyes. So it's been really a fun process.
That's awesome. Well, so what I was going to jump on there, a couple things, okay? A couple months ago, we talked about the Shakespeare idea. And
Yeah.
the fact that most people have no idea what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
As far
Yeah.
as like the words go, they don't. I mean, it's like, what does that even mean? And
Yeah.
so it's your responsibility as an actress to dive into the emotional side so that if I didn't understand the words at all, I could still look in your eyes and go, that's what the character's going through. And I felt
Yes.
that. I felt that. And we've been battling with the playfulness. And like, are you kidding me? Jumping onto the bed? Like, what a great choice. Like, all of the choices you were starting to make were difficult ones, challenging ones that expose you. You know? And that's one of the hardest things is when you go to make a choice, we don't know if it's going to work or not. We don't know how an audience is going to respond, especially in this format, because you don't have laughter and applause and these things that you normally get. So you're just trying stuff. And
Yeah.
and you really, really got to something by letting yourself be free. So I'd love to hear from you just coming right out of Masterclass because it's so very clearly different. What about Masterclass did you really take and apply to this that other people can apply to their scenes going into next week?
Yeah, of course. So in Masterclass, in our scene, we really had to find ways. One of the things that sticked out the most was you have to keep everyone engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people in the audience I personally feel like they feel obligated to pay attention because everyone can see them and see if they're checking out. But over video, no one's watching you. So you can check out, you can go places and you can check out without
Mhm.
anyone seeing you. So it's the actor's job to keep them entertained and keep them wanting to see more. And that really rang a bell in my head that I need to start doing more things to capture their attention and also capture my scene partner's attention. So in this circumstance, I'm trying to capture the invisible person through the camera's attention, but also like trying to put the person that you're talking to first, and then that will translate to the audience as well.
Absolutely. Well, you hit a big breakthrough here as far as that goes. And the reason it's so exciting for me is that, you know, we've been working on it, but the thing you did the most was you just were free today.
Mm-hmm.
You were free. And that's really hard to do. And I know that you have a challenging time with that because you're a planner. Like you have these things that you plan in your mind for your scene. And I didn't get that. I didn't get this like, oh, I'm going to the bed now because I've decided that has to happen. Like I just started to see you explore choices and not know how it was going to go and trust that that's okay. And so
Yeah.
I would literally journal the note that I just gave you tonight and get excited about it because it means that we're hitting a new stride with that. And now we have new things that we're going to start pushing past. And that's what putting something like a masterclass where you work super hard at something for so much time can do for you. And so my only challenge I'm going to leave you here with today is I also loved that you set up your set for masterclass. Like when you did the Instagram video the night before of like tearing things down, and I thought that was so cool. So cool. So when it comes to this character and space, you can use that space or this space, but think about everything that's in it. So if you use this space, every one of your movie posters is now a part of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
yeah.
when I saw those, I noticed them. I can't not. They're there. So either they're emotionally mean something to you and you actually use them and it's in this time period and she just talks like that. I don't know how you justify it. Or you recreate a set the way you did for Masterclass. And if that's the case, and then that's what it ended up being, I would say for everything you do from now on, script, Masterclass, improv, do it with the level that you did for Masterclass.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good work,
Thank
Saya.
you,
Very proud of
Brian.
you. Woo!
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Andreea.
Woo!
All right. You want to recap that last lesson?
I
there,
do.
Brian?
So, Saya was in our masterclass. Saya's been with us for a while, and Saya she's a worker. She is a worker, let me tell you. and that showed in her performance today. So honestly, the big lesson, we talked about the space stuff, but I just want to talk about Saya for a second, and how for those watching, if you do some of the stuff she does, it will take your performances to the next level. She rehearses like crazy. She works her lines like crazy. She goes through the part over and over and over and spends so much time on it.
I would love to talk on this.
Yeah,
just
go ahead, because Joey
Saya was my
his scene partner. Yeah.
in my second scene in Masterclass, and we worked the same scene for 3 months, and she was yelling at me and screaming at me in the play. I'm actually redoing this play this past Masterclass, and hopefully next Masterclass it's Reasons to Be Pretty. And Saya would come into every rehearsal just ready to work. I mean, hours and hours if we needed to, just to push forward in little bits. And over each masterclass, over these monthly classes, she's really just grown as a human being, and I've seen her be able to take critiques and direction quicker, and she's just really evolved. But even from the beginning, her work ethic has always been something that we all admire here, and I got to work personally with that, and it's just something that we can all shoot for ourselves, because that idea of we can always get better is something that will really take us next level every day in our acting.
That's right. And when you do that, that's when you get to be totally free. That's when you get to really live into your potential. Like when you know the lines so well and you've blocked out everything and tried different options, like that's when you go, hey, I've got a billion things in my brain. I've tested them all. I've tried them. Now I can just be free, and I know everything's going to work out, and be in the moment. So thank you, and hopefully that's a great lesson for everybody watching at home. All right, Andreea.
Hi.
You ready?
I'm starting out of frame.
Okay.
So
Take your time. Start when you're ready.
what? Why'd I burn the bitch's hair? Torture trousers? Like
Okay,
her
I got to
locks?
start you over because I freaking love it. Okay? And there's some lag going on a little bit.
Okay.
You have to slow down even more and have more diction.
Gotcha.
But I love it. I love it. Night and day from last week. Night and day. I see the character. Very good work. So you just have to slow way down, because right now your internet's a teeny bit laggy. So know that
Gotcha.
that's the case. And because it is, if your diction and your timing is good, it will make up for that. And if it doesn't, we'll still be able to understand you better at the very least.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Should I restart?
Start again. Of course, restart. So get back into character. That was great. Let's go again.
What? Why'd I burn the bitch's hair? Torch her trousers? Light her locks? Her hair was a symbol of purity, and my lighter was a symbol of corruption. God made me do it. The devil made me do it. Charles Manson is just so damn persuasive. She was Joan of Arc, and I was the townspeople of Salem. I did it for Jodie Foster. Boredom. Plain and simple. It was a cry for help, a plea for insanity. Red rum. Red rum. Oh my God, come on. Can't we just blame it on the government or the education system or something? PMSing, puberty, parents? Fine. I did it because I felt like it. They say love and hate are the two closest emotions. I love you so much, it blinds insanity. You're all I ever think about.
Okay, good. Nice work.
Thank
Did you feel
you.
the difference?
Yeah, I felt the difference a lot.
Okay, so Andrea, this is for every performance from here on out for the rest of your acting career. And that's the power of taking a note if you take it and then apply it right away. So it won't be perfect, but if you remember this and keep carrying it into every performance, you'll just keep getting better and better at that thing. And you'll have a new thing that you got to keep working on. But when you used your diction and you slowed down, the words were more powerful. And the creative, brilliant choices that you had came up with shined. Because the writer, you're welcome. The writer put words in there specifically. The writers slave over their work. They slave over it. They go through all these different, like they could pick any word and they picked the word they picked for a reason. So it's our job to bring the right kind of light to whatever that line is. And so when you slow down and realize each one of those words is a different note, a different beat that the writer thought of specifically, your creative choices can then show that. So your creativity was doing it right off the bat, but because you were talking fast, we were missing those great choices and the great writing. Does that make sense?
100%, yeah.
So
I felt like way in it the slower I talked. Like I felt kind of like you get like it's a lot easier to get lost in it when you talk slower.
100%. Because, and here's why. Same deal. They made those words for a reason. To help you get your character's story across. They picked them because they imagined in their mind a way that it worked with the character. So now that you are slowing down, you feel it. And you're like, I get it. Like, this is so cool. Yeah, it was made to be that way. So remember this moment, and we'll bring it to any future performances that we have. Like, it doesn't, not just online. This isn't an online thing. This is every stage you step onto. This is every film you do, every movie. It doesn't matter if you've got a microphone. Like, you still have to have diction. It's still got to be a part of you. When we went to Larry Moss's class a while back, he would hammer everybody on voice because of this reason. It's so important because he understands the power. And we're doing Pulitzer Prize-winning plays like we do in our master class. The words were very important to the point where they told a story that won awards. So if those words are lost, what's the point? Okay?
Right. Yeah.
So here's the homework I want to build on. Obviously, keep working that. But I'd like to try one moment really quick, okay? Just stand up for a second and go find another space in the room and know that you could go up and start being crazy walk for a second. Crazy walk. Do some crazy jumps. It's like some crazy weird things that you think she might do, okay? Stuff like that is possible at any time. You could pick up the laptop, move around the room, like, because we were in one spot, now you captivated our attention, so it worked. Just know that, especially as this crazy character, you have the ability to move around the room. And if it were me, and I've said this in the other scenes, I would use a phone. I'd set it up on the phone and go this way, and I would test everything. Test it in different spots and have a bunch of options and then use the one that feels right. You can be here a lot of the time. I think it fits and is really good for the spot, actually. But when you're feeling crazy, you can go crazy.
Gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we've got Amanda Priska. All right, Brian, go ahead.
Yep. So the wrap up here on this one is when we're doing a piece like this, any piece, we've got to get down to the basics of using our instrument. So diction is something that is very easy to work on at home. Just whenever you're done with this class, look up A to Z tongue twisters. A to Z tongue twisters. And there are sites that literally list out A to Z every tongue twister in each category. So I know what I'm working on constantly is my S's because I have a little bit of a lisp. So I'm looking at the S's and working on the S's because That's what I need to do for me to be heard. So for you, figure out what yours are and be practicing and practicing and practicing at home every day. There's no excuse not to if you want to be an actor. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Brian.
How you doing?
Good. Actually, I wasn't here last week. I just wanted to end my monologue. It's a little bit different, I guess, because like I'm talking about like to my roommate. So technically, so I kind of changed the situation for being like we're being quarantined together.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like I had a thought of like setting up my phone in the fridge. I don't know if it was a good idea or not. I just
Did you try it?
I did. It beeps though, so I have to apologize for that in advance.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Let me try it.
Those applause are for you.
Thank you. All right.
Yes.
Just once. I would like to see you clean up the refrigerator, Mara. Unbelievable. You think you'd have some freaking decency? Why do I always have to do it? It's like you don't care. It's like you don't care if we have people over and they look into our fridge. It's disgusting. Just once. I would like to see you clean up the refrigerator. You're the one who lives keeping food
Okay,
wrapped
good.
up.
Good. So I'm going to start it over. Okay. Let me start off with way to go. So you got a critique last way to go. Awesome, in other words. You got a critique last week, we all did, to start thinking and exploring different ideas within this realm.
Mm-hmm.
The shot of you opening the fridge was like something out of a movie.
Oh, thank you.
Like, literally, I'm watching it and going, that's like a movie scene. Like, that is a shot that 100% a cinematographer would set up, and then you'd cut to like a close-up. But it was so cool looking. And that's the idea of the cinematographer, editor, actor, director, everything within this format. So the thing that didn't work is having the roommate far to the left.
Okay.
So put it back in the fridge for me for a second.
Okay.
I know it's probably going to beep. We're cool with that.
Okay.
So the way that it's set up right now, to your left right now, look to your left, like right to the left of the, not that far, even less. Like just barely to the left of the fridge.
Okay, like that.
Can you go even closer? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the fridge, right? Just go barely left of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little more connected for me.
Okay.
Okay. And it may not still work because honestly the most connection can go towards the phone itself. However, because in this format we are doing it so that you're in the same house together, that does make sense to me. But what you have to do is I still got to see you connecting to her and her responses. And I'm imagining there's not a spot right there where someone could actually stand, but we don't know that.
Yes, it's like to the other door.
Right, but we don't know that. So for all we know, she's standing right there.
Okay.
So you can still take a small step back. You can come in close when you want to. I just wanted to be able to see you if you did a close move. And know that you can come even more into the fridge with your head.
Okay.
At some point, if you decide to, yeah, you can go almost all the way, even more if you can. Like, there may be a moment where you're really trying to find it. Okay. Where you're looking and, like, checking the shelves to see where this thing is, grossed out. Like, you have so much to explore here. Okay? So let's take it a couple steps back, but that's where you'll look when you look at her.
Like here.
As close as you can to the fridge. As close as you can. Not you, your eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
My eyes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally, like, if you're on the edge of the fridge, we wouldn't even know. It's cheating. What we're doing here is a cheat angle that would happen all the time on film sets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's start from the top. Such a cool shot.
Just once. I would like to see you clean up the refrigerator, Mara.
Okay, good. Before you say just once, just look at Mara. Look at Mara. She's right there. Glare at her. Glare at her. Now say it.
Just once. I would like to see you clean up the refrigerator, Mara. Unbelievable. You think you would have some freaking decency? Why do I always have to do it? It's like you don't care. You simply don't care if we have people over and they look into our fridge.
Good, we're going to try something else, okay? This is trying, okay? One more thing, and then I'll send it to the next person here, okay? Okay. In the fridge, okay, you see her. You can glare off when you're glaring to yourself. That's you thinking and glaring upset. She's in the other room.
Okay.
Just try it for me. Try it. So literally you're yelling at her in the other room. So you're not actually looking her in the eyes. She can hear you. You know she can hear you. And at some point you might imagine that she came in, okay?
That's a yell then.
A little bit, yeah. We're just trying something. This is the last thing we try before we move on.
Okay, let me try. Just once. I would like to see you clean up the refrigerator, Mara. Unbelievable. You think you would have some freaking decency?
It didn't stop smelling.
Why do I always have to do it? It's like you don't care. You simply don't care if we have people over and they look into our fridge. It's disgusting.
You're expecting her to come out and do it, but she doesn't?
What's that?
You're expecting her to come out and do it, but she doesn't? So then this next line is that?
Where was I?
This is the line, I believe, right now where you... Yeah.
Just once. I would like to see you clean out the refrigerator.
Yeah, that you expected her to come out and she didn't, so yell that at her. Just once!
You're
Like,
the one.
all the way. Give me everything. I don't care who's
You're
in
the one who always spills out the iced tea or the soda. You're the one who loves keeping food wrapped up until it becomes moldy.
Scene. Awesome. Hey! Cool. So we had a very creative choice, and I love it. I love that you went with it and chose it. And so, building on that, we just came up with 2 other ways that now within your choice, you can make different little mini decisions on when you look and where you look and how you do things, and that's that testing part. And then you go with what's right. So my note to you is keep playing with that. But then also, I want you to be cautious about doing the same 2 things. One, I like this at the beginning. That's fine. But then from then on, it's just gross.
I know.
It's just gross. Like, this is my gross face. It's gross. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, but if I go like this the whole time, it's covering my face. And then it's harder to block and all that. So I could just like, I'm doing my it might be nasally even. I'm doing my very best to not breathe this in right now.
Okay.
And that's clear. All right? And then the last thing is with that as well, be careful about the same line. So you did the refrigerator, Mara, the same every time.
Oh, yeah.
So when you watch it back, realize that and try new things. Like, you should be surprised by your take every time. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we've got Ian Seegers.
Ian. All right. So, critique
All
the-
right.
All right. I don't know why I did that.
All
All right. All right.
All
All right.
right,
All right.
all
All
right,
right. I do drive a Lincoln, so I can say that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, jumping on that last critique here, with our work, I love that she found that creative choice of the fridge, and I think everyone watching will agree. When you watch that first shot, it was so cool. Like, it just captivated our attention. So that's where then you watch it back, and you realize if I'm not there, right? Does it look like I'm still connecting? Can you feel connected to me when I talk to the person I'm talking to? And that ended up not being the case, so we worked some different moments to make that happen. That's where the testing part of this comes in, but you have to practice. You have to try different things, film it, go back, and just have a bunch of different ideas that you can explore. This is where the creative process comes from, and we're artists. That's what we do. So this is the most fun part about our job. All right, Ian. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, man. You can start when you're ready.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh. All right. Here we go. Oh.
I think Masterclass might have rubbed off on this guy.
It's so fun. I'm just having fun with acting. Yeah, okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, hi, I'm looking. Oh. I'm looking for books on marriage. How to have a good marriage. What to do? What to do, or what not to do. How to be a good husband. How to love the right way, and how to best make love, and well, not fiction, mind you, or the things on the internet.
Okay,
More
good.
like,
You're getting caught. Can you feel it?
yeah.
Okay. So here's what happened. We found a cool spot last week,
Yeah.
right? Found that cool moment on the floor, and then we moved around because of the old crotch shot, as we called it last week, right?
Yeah.
And so now you've gone, all right, I'll just cover that with books, and now I'll stay right here.
No, I know. I had an idea in my hand, and it all went to shambles.
Okay, so tell me about that.
Well, I was supposed to be moving around to keep it interesting.
Okay.
As the monologue progresses, and then when it gets kind of, I guess, emotional or a little bit deeper, that's when it would just be on the floor, but it's like this, and then it would be a Nico talking to the phone, really.
Do me a favor, show me the whole space. Do you mind?
Yeah. And then I was trying to be more cluttery, and then I decided not to, so I was like going to make it messy.
Cool.
Like,
So first
really
off, when you show stuff on a phone, okay, do I have a camera? No.
Do you have a what?
Like a
Phone cam?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So when you have that, you've got to be really cautious with your movements to go nice. It's like right now you're making me a little sick.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So smooth.
Yes. So you'll have to just be aware of it. Now there could be moments where it's rough because you want it to be rough. Because
like the franticness.
yes, because but
okay.
he's a pretty frantic guy. So if the whole time you're moving in a frantic way consistently, I'm going to get sick.
Yeah.
But he does need to move, and he does need to be frantic. So these are some of the puzzles that you need to solve.
Yeah.
Just like in Masterclass, and again, you had such a breakthrough, right? You had to solve a bunch of puzzles for your scene. And you started to solve some of those and figure those out. In the same way, you'll have to do this with this. Did you practice it with the phone in a bunch of spots and try different things yet?
I did not. I had ideas, but I didn't try them out. And so it's kind of like the books ideas. I was like, and I ran to get books, and I knew I had books. And then I didn't really think about where to go, and so it was I just was hoping I'll feel it, and I got stuck.
Well, to be frank,
That's where I got
you changed this weekend.
Facts.
You changed.
Big facts.
You got called out like crazy.
Yeah, I did.
And you took it like a
And
champ.
you took it like a champ. You took it like a champ. Like Joey is
I
absolutely
mean, what is this costume? Like, this is dope. This is dope.
This is the New Yorker. I don't know. It was supposed to get me in the fit, and I feel like I felt like
the costume's awesome. It's awesome. But here's the thing. The thing that happened to you over the weekend, and those who didn't watch Masterclass, go back and watch, is you got called out on your work ethic. You got called out on it. And there's some people who do that. They get called out and they don't take action on it. Unfortunately, they take it offensively and they're like, me. Like, you didn't do that. You're like, you know what? You're right. And then you worked your tail off. And then you committed to from now on doing that. So there's no way that you could have done this right because you hadn't done it yet. You hadn't been reborn in this new way that you were this weekend. So now, this week, the level at which you rehearsed your masterclass scene in that one day, use this whole week for that.
Yeah.
Find different spots in the room. Test different lighting areas. I talked about my scene, but with mine, I literally put in a bunch of different spots.
Yeah.
Just to have those spots. And I made sure the lighting was good in those areas. And I tested things. And I had times when I thought I was going to do it, but guess what? Then Matt crapped on that right away with the idea that I had. And it was perfect. It was awesome. I had this idea in my mind of moving a certain way, and he goes, "You're planning it, Brian. You're planning it all. It's okay to plan it, but then you have to release it." And then as soon as he gave me that, I was like, "Oh, you're right. Like, that is so true." And because of that, I still had all these choices, but then I wasn't stuck to, he has to be in the closet at this exact moment. He has to take his jacket off right here. Like, so for you, it's going to be testing. Okay? So right now in your room, look at a few spots. Where could you set the phone down where it can see you? Is there anywhere?
Yeah. No.
That one worked.
Yeah.
That was one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are different types of angles. You're a cinematographer.
Oh yeah, I like camera angles. That's too far.
Okay, good. So what you're doing right now, that's what you got to do this week. Okay.
Yeah.
So for now, we'll just start with a bit of the piece, and then we'll explore some more of this movement later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Find a secure spot for it, and we're gonna explore some of this. You're gonna pick up the phone. You're gonna try things. Right now is try. If you do anything, Ian, that was planned, you failed.
Okay.
So some of this is gonna be a little rough, but this is gonna be your get the shit out. That's what Matt calls it. Like, get it out. Like, literally, get it all out of there. Try things, and some of it's going to be awful. But you might find one really great choice. Okay, do it like you've never done it before. Try things, jump on things, like explore your space.
Okay.
Yeah, explore.
All right.
Play with your dog. Like, I don't care. Do stuff.
All right. Wait, and it still gives the lines, right?
Yeah, of course give it the lines. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for books on marriage, how to have a good marriage, what to do.
Look for the book in your books, like actually search for it, see if you have it.
What not to do, and how to be a good husband, and how to love the right way. Not fiction, mind you, or the things on the internet. More like old knowledge. But that's been shared by word of mouth, generation after generation. And then recorded by hand, and then translated into 1,000 languages. But
good. Are you feeling the fun now?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. So now that you're having fun, the other thing you'll have to add, and this will be my final note, is you'll have to still have diction and slow down. Okay. Even though he's frantic, he'll be frantic in different moments. I think the best way to do this is go back to your video from last week, where Matt was pretending to be the librarian.
Yeah, and I love that. And so it's like, I want to still play does it feel weird as an audience member when I maybe pause? Like I'm... No,
because this is a conversation.
Okay.
You got to look at it this way, man. You're in a scene.
Even though she just listens the whole time.
Of course. Because for all you know, she does say something, and we're all always saying something. We're all always saying something.
Yeah.
When I monologue, it's with the expectation that I'm sending it to someone and trying to get a response. The reason he says the next things he says is because he didn't get the response he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, say the first line. This is for everybody. This is huge.
I'm looking for books.
Okay. Okay, what book?
On marriage.
I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean? Like, there's a lot
How
of
to-
books.
How to have a good marriage.
So that actually has to happen. You understand that, Ian?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say how to have a good marriage if you
Without-
didn't think they understood what kind of book you want.
Yeah.
And that's how it builds. Because then you go, how to have a good marriage. They still don't get it. Okay, well, there's a lot of books on that. You know, like this specific thing. There's a lot of books on that. Then it's like, we don't have books on that. And like, you can create what those look like, but you have to see the responses or else it's not real.
Real. Yeah. And I felt that when I was doing the action, and I practiced it and I had fun with the practice, but it didn't feel real. And then like, yeah.
Well, write it out and keep practicing different things until it does feel that way. Okay.
Okay.
And again,
Okay.
you're a new man. Let's see what that new man can do with this piece before your final performance next week.
It's such a, I think I'm like, I guess now that I don't know, I'm doing it. It's like, I get to have fun with what I love,
Right.
even with the hard work. Like, I don't know. It's not a chore. I don't look at it as like a chore. I look at it as, okay, I get to learn. And it's something I enjoy doing rather than I'm being forced. No one's forcing me. And I think that's the fun part.
Absolutely. And you have to in this industry. You have to. So thank you, Ian.
Thank you, guys.
Good work. Bye, Nico.
All
Thank you.
right.
Stop it.
Hey,
Did you really just go?
I did. I think I was sending Nico a little bye-bye, you know?
Okay, well, on that note, let's bring in our last performer, Mr. Scotty Scheller. I didn't hit the drum roll there. It didn't feel right.
Do it.
Nah.
Nah. All right, so we'll wrap up that scene really quick. That's, again, and the way it's described there, get the shit out. Like, just try really crazy things, random things. Like be willing to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. And sometimes it will just help you find gems. And you're doing it with the full intention, knowing a lot of it is going to be crazy. A lot of it won't be used, but it's just going to help you find some moments that might. Cool. All right, Scotty, whenever you're ready, my friend.
Let's do it. Good.
Dang, that's a sick brick you're laying against right there.
Oh. You know, I'd only been attending that school for about a month when it happened. I was the new kid and I really didn't have any friends. And like most new kids, I spent most of my time alone, and I hung out in the library, and that's where I was when I heard that sound, that it was gunshots, it's followed by screaming. And like anyone, I panicked. And I looked for a place to go, and you know, that's when I saw him. It was this guy I'd never met before, and he was hiding underneath one of the computer tables, you see, and he must have noticed how scared and panicked I looked, because he gestured for me to come hide with him. And it was weird, in the midst of all the chaos, I was able to look him in his eye. And they were this incredible shade of blue. They're so bright and full of life. And he had that expression, you know, the one that it made you feel like no matter what was going on around you, you were safe. And that moment was ruined by the sound of more gunshots coming down the halls. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "We're gonna be okay. You know, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine." And that's when the doors burst open.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there.
Go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go.
So, tell me about the choice. It's completely different. I know
just
Matt
wanted to
threw
do
some new
something
things
different.
your way.
I don't know. I kind of wanted it to be almost documentary-ish in the beginning. I don't know. I didn't really know where to go with it because I just moved and I'm not in like my surroundings like I used to be.
Okay.
And so I wanted to kind of play off like the mirror I have here and like put a different angle on it. And then I don't know. It was weird. I'm just trying to experiment with it now and trying to find the emotion with it because we talked a little bit about it last week, and it's hard to have an emotion on something, like a real emotion on something, and then change your real emotion. You know, so it's like I'm trying to still have that emotion that I had, but I'm trying to do what Matt said and trying to like pull myself out and change the character a little bit and make it more like compelling from somebody else's eye and like thinking about the audience first, like what would an audience member be drawn towards. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Sure. So tell me about the mirror choice.
I don't really know. I just saw it and I was like, give it a shot, it might suck.
Okay. Have you tried it before today?
No, I just moved in.
Okay, cool. Congrats.
Thanks, man.
How'd it feel?
Weird. Very weird. It felt interesting. It definitely wasn't what it's supposed to be. I can tell you that. It's definitely not the right choice. So yeah, just gotta shake it up and figure out another way to do it.
That's right. You know, the only way to know that is to do it. So we did it here. You know, you go, I see this setup. I'm gonna try it. I want to see if it works. And so as let's say you're rehearsing, okay? Which everybody should be doing. You're rehearsing and you're doing this and you've set it over there and you set it on the mirror, and I wanted to let you go for a bit. But you set it there and you go in a little bit and you're like, this doesn't feel right. You either go to grab it and try something new and continue, or you pause and go, that wasn't right for the start, let me try something else. Let me try something else. But a lot of people when they're rehearsing, you just keep going. Like it's like I just keep doing it, and it's like if a moment felt off, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And now you, as the actor, you have to discover why. Like, why was that off? Okay, what am I trying to get across here? So I know we're changing this to a new format where you're talking to the person through the phone. So what decision did you make on who you're talking to or how that's going about?
Well, that was kind of the thing. Like when we talked last week, Matt really kind of discussed how I'm almost not talking to someone. I'm kind of just letting out the emotion and letting it out so I can hear it. You know, it's almost like, and I kind of thought about it. I've thought about the last like week while I've been kind of like moving and stuff like that. And it's almost like I'm writing a diary to myself.
I love that. Have you ever video journaled?
What's up?
Have you ever video journaled before?
No. And that was one of the things that I worked on this week. And that was one of the ones I scrapped is I kind of like, it was almost like me writing it out. Like I had like my notebook out and I actually wrote the entire script while I was saying it. And that one didn't feel right because it was kind of like now I'm writing a book. Yeah. You know, and it was kind of like, that's not right.
So imagine he's trying to get his feelings out. And he's using his phone to do it.
Okay.
So it's a thing this character does. And let's go back to the therapist, okay? So your therapist has given you this assignment to record yourself journaling. And let's say you've been doing it for weeks. You could go even into months if you choose. Like you've been doing this every single day, you're doing journals and you're slowly talking about your progress and little parts of the day. And because you've been doing that consistently, you now are at a point where you feel comfortable with talking about the whole thing. And so he's going to start talking, and the deep emotion will be in there. But this is actually something the therapist gave you as a way to let out all the emotions. The anger, the frustration, the fear, and the pain. So then you can still have that core pain emotion. That can still be a huge part of this. But because it's you and the therapist told you it's an exercise to get all of it out, let's see what that does for you.
Okay.
Okay, and let's start from the top. Use the phone. Hold it at different spots. You can set it down if you want to get angry and move or do whatever. You could literally, if there's a soft spot at a point, you could throw the phone at the bed. That's fine. Okay. And then go back to pick it up, frustrated or whatever. Explore this piece as if this was you letting out every emotion, experiencing it as it's going along. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's play.
Let's do it.
Get yourself all the way to the core first. Can't start without the core.
I'd only been attending that school for about a month when it happened. And I was the new kid. And I didn't have any friends. So I was in the library alone when I heard it. It was this...
Stop. Paralyzing fear. See it. Experience the fear side, not the sad, the fear.
Okay.
Right there. Good.
This is a sound I never heard before, and the sound of screaming.
Hear it.
Gunshots. And of course I panicked and I looked for a place to go. And that's when I saw him.
This is a beautiful moment. Smile. See it.
There's this guy I never met before. He must have noticed how scared and lost I looked because he gestured for me to come hide with him. It was funny. In the midst of all the chaos, there was just this moment where I got to look him in his eyes. And they were this incredible shade of blue. They're so bright, full of life. And he had that expression, the one that it makes you feel safe, in a moment when everything else is falling apart.
Good. I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
Dude. Did you feel it?
It was coming. Yeah.
It's coming along way more.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you're right. It's a process, right? So what you're going to do this week is figure out different spots, because angle-wise, with movement, you don't want to move too much. There'll be moments when you move, but there's a couple things. A, when you started with your head down like this with your hair, it was so badass, it wasn't even funny. I was just like, what's about to happen? And it just was the angle you happened to be at. Well, then when you moved and found that other spot, there was this spot where like half the light was on you and half the light was off you. And that's what Matt was talking about last week with this shadowy feel and using the lights to your advantage. So literally, I would record yourself on your phone and see where all those spots are and know where you can go at certain points to try and use the lighting, use the room to also bring out what you did. But here's what happened. When we got to that, yeah, you were visualizing and sort of taking us through it. And then when you got to him and to this other thing, we saw a transition. And that's what we're talking about. Because again, if this thing is just sad, I'm going to turn it off or just fall into a depression, right? But watching you just see the memory of a guy that you really love and you're smiling and like it, I believed it. Because here's the thing. There's no right way to react to something that happens. Matt told me this when I was younger, and it's really stuck to me. Like people, we laugh at funerals and we cry at weddings. Like, how does that make sense? We don't make sense. There's no one right way to process or deal with anything. So what you did when you saw that boy's eyes and it brought you so much joy was you saw the joy of that moment. Because the truth is you were terrified. You were freaking terrified. And you thought you were going to die. You were sure of it. And then some kid looks at you and encourages you and just sends you this love. And you're just blown away by this love. And that's why you can't stop talking about the kid. Because you've moved from school to school and never had a friend. And in this crazy moment where this other kid should be focusing only on himself and hiding, he looks at you and wants to help you. And there's something just so, I'm getting chills, man. There's something so beautiful about that moment that would be unforgettably powerful. And that's what I saw there. So then when you go to talk about him and his death later and refer to that's when it's like, then when you cry, it's so much more powerful. Because we've seen the kid and we've seen how much that kid meant to you in that moment. Okay?
Gotcha.
So I want you to go back and I want you to watch this. And I want you to see it and take the moments that you really like and explore those with the moving around the room. But I really want you to look back at where that transition happened and how you were able to totally shift emotion but stay within character. Because that's what we do.
Perfect.
Awesome. I can't wait to see our final performance next week, my friend.
Awesome, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you.
All right. Scotty was our last performer, so we'll go ahead
and try and get back in?
It doesn't look like it. I'll double check. Nope.
Who's Carlos?
Oh, Carol. Carol joined late. Love it.
Wow,
all right. Our last.
Yeah. Carlos. Who's Carlos? Carlos.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta get some glasses, man.
Okay, it looks like our last performer then will be Carol.
So as Carol's coming in, the thing we've been working with Scotty, and you can look back and see even just this last week's video, the emotion was so there, all the core of it. But with any piece, like we have to work on like continuing to just be in the moment with our character in different emotions, not just the main core one, not just the sadness, but every little emotion that we experience.
Okay.
Like, it's not just sad, it's fear, it's joy, it's everything. And that's the challenge of the actor is like, we're not just in one spot. You wanna?
Yeah, Carol's just loading in right now.
She's loading in?
Yep.
Hey, Carol.
Hi, need to turn this sound off here.
Cool.
I've been on, but I just didn't log on right, so I was actually watching all night.
No problem, no problem.
Love it. Glad you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I've been on. I got my devices backwards, so, you know.
We all do that.
Whatever.
I literally did the same thing for masterclass. I was like messing with my device and something was going wrong. I was like, yeah. So.
Okay, but okay, so you can see me. Everything's fine.
Yep.
Okay, are we ready?
She picked a new spot.
Yeah, I love it. Love the new spot.
Oh, yes, I tried it for him. Okay, I gotta get ready.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think you guys knew I was there all night, so I wasn't really prepared. So, okay, I'm ready to go now.
Take your time, Carol. Carol, relax. Okay. Think about your journaling. Think about her. This is your time. So take your time to get into that and then start when you're ready.
Okay.
I keep things in. Things, emotions, my emotions. And I know that that's not a good thing. Life has made me that way. I just have a tendency to show no emotion when I'm feeling emotion. I just have a hard time opening up to someone. I get closed off. I feel that by being emotional in front of someone kind of makes me very vulnerable and weak. And I have a hard time with that. You know, being in that state of vulnerability, it's not a place where I like to be. And I get closed off. I feel that whenever I truly love someone and open myself up to them, they have always stabbed me in the back. And I have a hard time with that. Trusting people. It could be anybody. Friends, family, boyfriends. Not sure if I truly trust anyone in my life. It's kind of a protective shield I put up, and it only gets stronger with time. I do desire to be more vulnerable, but at the same time, I desire to stay protected. Whenever I truly trust someone, they've always stabbed me in the back. And I don't want to keep taking those risks because I don't want to get hurt. Scene.
Scene.
Oh, God.
That was bad. Carol, tell me about that.
It was okay.
Okay, why do you feel that way?
Oh, well, I messed up a lot of lines, which I can't believe I did because I'm not used to walking around saying them, and it kind of threw me, which I just needed to practice more, of course.
Well, you know the answer.
And so
don't beat yourself up about it, you know?
Okay.
Like, oh, man, like, that was it. I'm never going to get to do this again. Like,
no, I get another chance next week.
You sure do. And then we got, and like, always, like, because this piece, it's a great piece for you, Carol. It really is. You know, we talked about you and the way that you're so happy all the time. You have so much joy. You really do, Carol. You bring a smile to my face every time I see you.
Oh.
But there's always, for all of us, even the people who are super joyful, we have pain, we've got struggles that we go through. And so you found a way to tap into a lot of that, and I think this is an amazing piece for you. So when this class ends, I don't want this piece to go away.
Okay.
You should keep practicing this piece, keep pursuing it. When we were in master class, Matt encouraged me to continue my scene afterwards, and I'm excited about that. Like, I am so excited about continuing to work that scene, continuing to build it. And I've done it. I did it already. I started working the memorization. I'm going to do it again tonight. Like, every day I'm going to keep working on it because I might use it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to use it. And in your case, you're going to go on auditions and you're going to use it.
Okay.
Okay? So the practice here is going through it and going in different areas and trying different things. Like, that's a part of this piece for you. So this week, block it out, put it on different spots, try different things. I love the bed. That was a cool moment. Like, so you'll figure out, when do you want to be there? How do you want to be there? And what else in this room can you explore?
Mm-hmm.
And when something throws you, take a breath.
Okay. So I guess I had some props in my mind that I was going to pick up, little things around the room, but I didn't really know how they translated on camera. I don't even think you saw them. Just like, so I just have to practice that more too.
Okay. Like what?
Because I'm trying to like have a FaceTime conversation is what I'm imagining.
Yeah. So that's where you find spots where you could set the phone down and go grab something.
Okay.
And go, am I grabbing this to show them? And to do this, does it need to be seen? Or is it just something that I can go do off screen for a second or whatever? Like,
yeah.
If it's just for you as a character, cool, that's fine. Like, and if it's something that you want to be seen, great. But know that, like, as long as you've designed in your mind and have a character backstory to why you have that prop, that's what really matters.
Yeah, it was a photograph is what I had, and I just kind of thought that would be a cool thing.
I think that's awesome. So again, test. And if you don't have enough spots to put it, get creative. And you're one of the most creative people I know. So I know you can do that. Like, hey, there was no Lonesome West set without you. I mean, that was incredible. So you look at this as a set and go, if there's no place to place my phone, what set pieces could I put in here where I would be able to prop it up and use it the way I want?
Okay.
Cool. Good job, Carol.
Okay,
right.
I have one more question.
Yes,
It's so
go ahead.
embarrassing. I don't know how to view the videos after you always say go back and watch them, but I don't know how to do that.
Oh, perfect. They are on our YouTube channel. So you can jump onto our YouTube, and they are on there. And I'd be happy to send you a little link so you know exactly where that is and how that works. So
is it the same link for all the classes too?
yeah. So well, they're each class is its own. Yeah. So you can go and sort of check that out and look at that. So
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course, happy to help you with that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Carol. So glad we were able to get you in. Woo.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm so happy got to do that tonight. But
Awesome.
I was like, I was cool if I didn't because I'm like, I'll just sit in tomorrow and I got a bonus class.
No, it's great. I'm so glad, so glad. So stay here. We're gonna bring everybody else back in, and we're gonna wrap up class here together.
Alrighty, here we go. It was a great night tonight.
It's a great night. Great night.
Alrighty.
Woo woo. All right, everybody. Let's start by giving yourselves a round of applause. So we know our homework. Next week is our final week doing these monologues specifically. Okay? So put in the work. Design your sets. Think through every little piece. And we're running it like a showcase, like we always do. It's just virtual. So think through all of the things that you want to have happen if this was a set that you created on stage, the way that Carol created ours for our play. What do you want to have there? How are you going to move? What all are you going to make happen? So do that, and then obviously all the critiques from the character perspective and from the monologue perspective. And I'm very, very excited to see all of these next week. To close us out, I'd love to just hit on really quick a couple little things that we took out of today that we're going to bring into our performances next week to wrap us. And if there are any specific questions from online, be happy to answer those as well. Any specific takeaways? You can raise your hand. Yeah, Saya. Forgot to say raise your hand.
Ah, there you go.
What you said about treat every single thing you ever do in acting like it's for masterclass. So that's something that I believe. I take masterclass very seriously, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's masterclass. I have to do everything I need to do. But I do tend to, slack off a little on other things. So treating everything as if it's as important as masterclass, which it should be. That's something I took away. That was really cool.
That's awesome. I love that. Anybody else? Yeah.
Jinx, you want me to
Jinx.
soda?
So for me, I think with this format, it's pretty cool for me because I've been lucky enough to learn the on-set, life, and then try to learn the behind the scenes and really just immerse myself. And with this, the fact that everything in your scene really shows something in your character, especially for the audience. But I think for us, at least for me, especially for the class, I'm like, I don't take it as serious. And so I think it's fun to have that element of being able to set up your set to add to your character. I'm already thinking of things I can use where I wouldn't be able to do that with, I couldn't bring my own set to the Jinx Studios. And so this is kind of fun. And then the camera angles we could play with. While watching Scotty's video, I took away that, when you guys talked about confessionals and the feel of that, the difference between a documentary. So how we set up our camera angles really can change the whole scene. You can deliver the lines perfectly, you can act it out, but now that we have this medium, the camera is a part of it as well, and it's just as important.
Well, and the cool part about that, guys, is I recommend every actor do this, and so we're doing it through this format, is having a better understanding of how the whole operation works. You as an actor are only going to benefit from understanding how angles are happening and how things are being put together, different pieces of the puzzle, and what everybody's job is on set. You're going to have a higher respect and understanding for what they do. For example, when I have to step in, I remember one of the first times I had to step in and do a tech thing that Joey usually does. It was terrifying, and I was god-awful. Like, I mean, god-awful. So it's one of those things where you look at it and you go like, all right, I'm learning these different pieces that are going to help me as an actor move in certain ways on set that will bring more of the character to light and make it look better and make the other people's job easier. It's awesome. Good. Anything else? Yeah, Emily.
Give me 1 sec.
Oh, sorry. I'll let Joey call it out since he's the unmuter.
No, you're good.
Oh, I was like, I'm still muted. I was gonna say what I feel like really helped me, kind of going off what Ian said, is that having it in that mentality, like you're on FaceTime or you're on a Skype call with that person, like really helps, because it's like at class we have to think of ourselves like, okay, imagine, like, put yourself in that place, put yourself in like where you're at, and it's like, oh, I'm actually here. So it kind of like, even though there's still people watching, it kind of like relieves that, like, that thought process in a way, because you're like, I'm here, I am basically living this out, and it makes it that more real to pursue, I think.
Absolutely. And here's how I would take that, honestly, when we get back in the classroom setting. I would take that and go, all right, I should do it at home that way. And then when I come in, if I don't have certain things, then I have a real visualization and imagination of what it looks like. Cool. Saw one more I'll close on. Did I see? Amanda, did you throw your hand up? Yeah. I'll wait for Joey here. And
All right,
Go
quick
ahead.
pet peeve. Why are these not in alphabetical order?
I
It
have no
makes my
idea.
job very hard.
no idea.
Yeah, for me, it is definitely be creative with what I have and my device. And like I was so focused on that I'm slacking on my lines. So definitely I have to work on that
Mm-hmm.
for sure, and surprise myself for next week.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Are we still on the other line?
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about that. So the webinar ended at 9:30, same time as class, but it was really cool. The live viewers, we had 6 of them, and they were congratulating you guys as your performances went along, and so just a really cool experience for us as a studio and for you guys, and showing that we continue to just better ourselves during this time. And I'm really glad that you guys had the opportunity to have a little bit of a live audience and that positive feedback, because really cool, really cool.
Absolutely. And this is the new medium, guys. I'm telling you. Like, you have an opportunity in this medium as we keep growing it. There could be 1 million viewers one day. Like, literally. And we can fit, like, 60 in here. Like, and 80 if we're, like going to break some rules, you know? But, like, it is, like, so cool that not only did all those people get to watch you and they enjoyed it and got to be impacted by what you did tonight, but also this video continues and people get to continue to learn. So going into next week's performance week. So we'll send you guys the webinar link, and highly encourage you, just like I was going to do when we were in person, to invite family, to invite friends, to come watch you to perform your scene. Yeah, that's what I got.
Well,
All
we
right.
love you guys. It's been a great night. We'll leave this room open for about 5 minutes, as if you were hanging in the lobby. You can all talk to each other, check in on where you're at, or you can log off if you'd rather do that. We'll see you next week for your performances, and make sure that you are sharing that link for your performance. We're excited.
Let's throw out heart real quick, everybody. I love that. Ian, that's a half heart. We're just waiting on Ian, guys.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
There it is. All right. Very good, everyone. We
Awesome.
love you.